Nightcast. Stephen Lloyd Gilbreth brings you the current news from the world today and how it relates to Bible prophecy. Understanding the end-time events leading to the peaceful world tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Lloyd Gilbreth.
Well, greetings, friends, and welcome to this. Excuse me. I know the date. I just can't speak. I've been outside working in that cold weather, and it's got my throat. Not to mention it's caused my jaw to reactivate and some pain. Welcome to this January 6th, 2014 edition of Nightcast. First story tonight involves the White Horse and the Pope, who has announced his first visit as pontiff, Pope Francis that is, to the Holy Land from May 24 to May 26. He will visit Jerusalem, Bethlehem in the West Bank, and the Jordanian capital, Amman. He made the announcement during his weekly Sunday blessing in the Vatican City yesterday. The visit is so far his only foreign trip planned for 2014. He said he would hold a meeting with the representatives of the Christian churches in the Middle East in Jerusalem. His pilgrimage in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, quote unquote, has a double significance, says the BBC's David Wiley in Rome. Not only will he be making an important gesture of goodwill towards the Orthodox churches, which separated from Rome just over 1,000 years ago, but he will be making an important political statement as he wants to encourage the peace process between the Israelis and the Palestinians, so says the BBC correspondent. And friends, in other news tonight, from Israel, an Israel website mocks John Kerry with a porcu-shine video. Now, we can't show you the video for a couple of reasons. One is we don't have a license to show that. I haven't been able to acquire a license to show it yet, and I'm not so sure we would anyway for another couple of reasons. The location where the video starts out is not one I would really want to be showing from a bathroom. And secondly, it's in the Israeli language, in the Hebrew language, so most of you would not understand it. But this is a picture from that website. This is someone that's supposed to be a look-alike to John Kerry. Right-wing groups in Israel have set up this website portraying U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry as an unwanted salesman peddling inappropriate solutions to people's problems, it seems. The parody site shows a look-alike promoting John Kerry Solutions Limited and coming up with half-baked solutions which end in disaster. The Times of Israel has the news story about this website. And I'll quote from the newspaper. A video shows a Hebrew-speaking Kerry offering a man stuck on the toilet without paper to use a porcupine instead. You know, friends, I'm reading this straight from the newspaper, which says, "Wipe, don't gripe," Kerry tells him. After the porcu-shine incident, the advice goes from bad to worse, and the man ends up unemployed and begging in the street. The Jerusalem Post says the site, which dismisses American efforts to create a two-side solution to the Israel-Palestinian conflict, is the work of several groups, including the Council of Jewish Communities of Judea and Samaria, My Israel and Benjamin Regional Council. Israeli Foreign Minister Lieberman has welcomed Washington's push towards a two-state solution, I should say, but Yigal Del Monte of one of the groups behind the website told the Jerusalem Post, "Our deep friendship with the U.S. does not obligate us to cave under pressure and to accept solutions that would endanger the state of Israel." And you know, friends, other than a little bit of grossness in their website, I'm glad to see someone stepping up front and let's put it this way, exposing some of the sometimes you just kind of call a spade the way you see it, exposing some of the lunacy in some of the solutions and suggestions for Israel. You know, in the speech that was given last night from the Middle East by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, which we showed here on our report last night, where he was talking about the years of this thing not being resolved. And, you know, you get the impression and the image that, they're talking about years, you know, a lot of years, like maybe 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or even 100. But that's missing the mark entirely if you don't take it back over 3,000 years to the time when Abraham and his wife Sarah were unable to have a child, and so Sarah offers her handmaid Hagar, an Egyptian, and Abraham willingly went along with that. I was going to say gladly went along with it. He may have. He may well have very gladly gone along with that, but he sure heard it from Sarah later, you know, for taking her advice. She chewed him out because Abraham took her advice to take her handmaid Hagar, with whom Abraham had Ishmael. And then Sarah, as God promised, Sarah was able and did have her own son with Abraham later, Isaac. And that began a conflict, not hundreds of years ago, not decades ago, not hundreds of years ago, but thousands of years ago, that some people believe they can resolve in a matter of days, weeks, or months. There's no man going to resolve that conflict other than the being who at one time was a man but is now on the right hand of the throne of our Father in heaven, and who is to return to this earth as the King of Kings, who will smash on the toes the symbol of all the governments of this world and replace it with the kingdom of God. And when he's able then to change the hearts of all men, when all men will begin to be called, it'll become the beginning of a fall harvest. Then will that conflict between Ishmael and Isaac, Ishmael the Palestinians, and Isaac, one of his grandsons, the tribe of Judah, and Benjamin perhaps too, and Levi, who are called the Jews, you know, and all the problem is extent with all of Israel, all the tribes is really, you know, the Arabs, they largely prescribe to the Quran, which tells them to do away with all infidels, you know, that's all of us, all of Israel. Well, friends, with the other major thing in the news tonight is, of course, the weather that is affecting much of the United States, the very, very cold and deadly weather. And many are advising, if you can stay home and stay in, be warm and be safe. I think that's good advice. And we've had some technical problems tonight, so I won't be showing any video tonight. We'll have plenty tomorrow night for you, as long as the in this weather, as long as the electricity holds out and we're able to be on the air. We do have an emergency generator, but if we are able to still have the internet and all that, and God willing, we'll plan to be back tomorrow evening. Thanks for joining me tonight for this Monday night edition. Again, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll be back Tuesday night with our next edition of Nightcast. Until next time, friends, your host Stephen Lloyd saying, so long, friends.
You have been watching Nightcast with Stephen Lloyd Gilbreth. Nightcast can be seen Sunday through Thursday nights here on cogtv.org. Tonight's program is also available anytime on demand in the cogtv.org video archive.